Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jordan from PictureMonk.com. Welcome to another podcast. It's been a very, very long time. I was actually looking at the last time I recorded a video podcast, really, but the last time we recorded a podcast in general, and it was, I think it was April 16th is when I actually recorded it, and then it was released the Tuesday after. So, it's been a while. It's been a while. So what the reason why it's been a while is because every year the company I work for, I do a full-time job for them. The company I work for do a conference for a bunch of people to come in, and I'm the only graphic designer at the company, so it's my job to put together books and banners and flyers and print material and all this kind of stuff, PowerPoints and all this kind of stuff. So that was basically what I was doing almost every day after work, as I was working and doing that at work, and then coming home and doing it all again. So I had no time to do videos for my channel, no time to do podcasts, no time to do catch up on anything like that. So yeah, that's basically what was going on. But that did give me just a tiny bit of time to kind of reflect and kind of see what I want to do more with this podcast, warranted with time. So, I want to make sure I do more stuff with the podcast if I can. And so that's what I'm going to touch on first real quick is, first of all, recording this very low budget, no tripod, no setup, and no anything. Basically, just have a camera sitting on a bunch of boxes in front of my computer. I did not want to use the webcam, so I'm just recording this with a camera. So, but anyway, if you're listening to it, you don't care. So, so the first thing I want to discuss real quick is something that I'll probably mention at the end, just hopefully so to jog your mind full of this. And it's a survey. I did one a while back, and there was a couple cool responses, and I really appreciate those who did fill it out last time. But now that I have a little bit bigger audio, wow, it's very late. A bigger audience. I wanted to see if this was something that you guys could do for me. It takes 3 minutes probably. If you answer everything really cool and quick and easy, it takes about 3 minutes. But if you actually take your time, it probably takes about 5. So what I did is I created a link. And it's labeled podcast survey. So if you go to PictureMonk.com/podcast survey, that'll redirect you to a Google form, and you can fill it out there. It has a spot for your name. If you're not comfortable with leaving your name, totally fine. Just make up a name. Just call yourself Harold or something. I don't care. Just make up a name and just fill out the questions honestly, because I want to know what you guys think of the podcast now, what you want to see in the podcast later, what you want me to remove, and all this kind of stuff. So it's basically just letting me know how I'm doing and what I can improve on to help you guys out. And so that's really all I'm here to do, is just help you guys out in any way I can. So I will mention that at the end, just in case you forget. But if you remember, go to PictureMonk.com/podcast survey. And also for anything discussed in this podcast, go to PictureMonk.com/PMP056. And that is the show notes for this episode. So let's go and get into the cool findings of the podcast section here, and that has to do with McDonald's. I all of a sudden wanted a McFlurry. I don't know. But McDonald's Canada, I believe, they put out a video. I think it was. They gave a date on the video. I think it was earlier this year. And what they did is they had the marketing director from McDonald's Canada go to a McDonald's in the area and pick out I think it was a double quarter pounder or something like that. And so they picked out a double quarter pounder and took it to their professional photographer, the studio for that photographer who takes all of their food photography. And they took a picture of the sandwich as is, trying to dress it up just a little bit, but then showed the comparison of that real sandwich to a sandwich that was made with many hours and all this kind of stuff, and many preparations and little spots moved here and there, and it's just kind of a cool thing to see. You don't really see most of that stuff when it comes to food. I mean, you think obviously what you see on the TV is what you're going to get when you go to some restaurant or something, but that's never the case. And they even mentioned that in the video, that a lot of people think that this is exactly what the sandwich looks like, but when you see what they do to the actual burger, putting ketchup on it to show that there's ketchup there, but putting it on with like a squirt bottle, just like dabbing it on in little spots. They want to show that there's onion on the hamburger, so they take little slices of onion and put them in the middle, put them on the edge there, and build them up and all this kind of stuff. It's just a cool video to watch to see how they take the photo, and then the retouching of that, taking out some of the imperfections in the bun and all that kind of stuff. So I put that video on the show notes for this episode. I recommend you watch that. It'd actually be a really cool thing if you're really into food photography or beverage photography, product photography in general. If you're into all of that, it'd actually be a cool watch for you. So again, picturemunk.com/PMP056 is the show notes. The show notes for this episode. There we go. So since I've been gone for a while, I needed to catch up on some of my listener questions, and it's way easier to go ahead and just tell these on the podcast instead of writing all you guys individually back, or sometimes I'll make a video just to get it out there. It's just quicker that way. So I grabbed, it looks like 6 questions. One of them's kind of long, so it could be 7. I don't know. We'll get through them. But I grabbed a few questions that are really cool, and I wanted to run by those. So let's go and get into that little section here, and let's go get the first question. The first question is from Jessica W. from Atlanta, Georgia, and she says, do you have any tips for someone who wants to shoot sports? I have never shot sporting events before and don't know where to start. First of all, you need a long lens. That's normally what people need. To me, it doesn't have to be the fanciest lens. It can just be, actually, let me back off the mic real quick and I'll show you. If you're watching the video here, I have a 75 to 300 lens, and this is it's actually made for a crop sensor camera, but you can actually use it on a full frame as well. Obviously with a crop sensor camera, you're going to get more of a magnification effect, which actually is one of the questions that I'm going to get into. But yeah, this one is it's a cheap lens. It's racked out all the way to 300. It's a aperture 5 point something. And so it's not the greatest. Actually, I could probably tell you if I take off the things. 5.6, yeah. So it's when it's racked out, it's all the way to 5.6. So it's not the fastest lens, but it will do a decent job for starting out with sports. And if you're starting out and you have no idea what to do, you don't want to go buy a $300,000. There's no lens that costs that much. $3,000, f2.8, 70 to 200 or anything like that. You don't want to get all that because you're not gonna use it later on down the road. You could use it and definitely have it pay for itself. So what I recommend is getting a cheap lens like this off of Amazon or something. It's like $200, and you don't have to get this exact one, but just get something similar to this. $200 somewhere around there. And one thing that I'm actually going to try to do this summer, depending on how my schedule works out, is I want to shoot a little bit of sports too to see how it is. And so I'm going to contact my local minor league team, what they're called the Greensboro Grasshoppers. I'm going to actually contact them. It's I don't remember what division they are, but I'm going to contact them and say, hey, can I just come in for free? Take some photos. They have staff photographers on staff, so it's not really, it's not like they're going to use all my photos or any of them. I'm mainly shooting for me, and just see, hey, can I get access to the batter's box, the dugouts? Can I get access to that so I can take some photos? And so I'm actually going to do that, and it's a minor league team. They're most likely going to say yeah. As long as you're not getting in people's way, I'm pretty sure people have asked before. So that's one thing I would recommend if you're starting out that way. If you have a bunch of minor league teams in your area, definitely contact them. Just email them directly and say, hey, I'm just a local photographer. Just want to shoot some games. Do you mind if I do that? And just see what they say. It doesn't hurt to ask. So that's the two things I have for you. Get a cheapish lens that has a good focal telephoto length, and and contact some sporting events in your area. I mean, go to high school basketball games. Just build a portfolio and build your experience to try to get some cool photos. So you're not going to get it right the first time. No one ever does. And so that's just one thing I would definitely recommend there. So thank you, Jessica, for your question. And let's get on to the next one. The next question is from Jack445 from Tampa, Florida. And I believe it's a he. So, Jack, why does my 50 millimeter lens look different on my camera compared to my friend's camera? This is kind of what I was talking about earlier. I have a Canon T3i, and she has a Canon 5D Mark II. Okay, so the reason your camera lens, your 50 millimeter looks different is because of the full frame versus crop sensor. So APS-C sensor is another name for that. So the crop sensor, on a crop sensor camera, the sensor is smaller, hence why it's a crop sensor. On a full frame, the sensor is bigger. And so when you put a lens on a crop sensor camera, it's going to magnify it by 1.5 times. I'm not good at math, so that'd probably make a 75 millimeters. Something like that. I don't know. But it magnifies a 50 that much. And so for when you put a 50 millimeter on a full frame lens or a full frame camera, that's kind of like the true 50 film. Can't talk tonight. True 50 millimeter. I want to say milliliter because making bottles for my son and stuff like that, but it's millimeter. So that's the true thing. So every time you put it on a crop sensor camera, it's going to crop in. It's going to be a more tighter zoom, which is really cool for sports photography, wildlife photography, and everything like that. So you can get this 300 millimeter lens. You can get this, and it's going to be zoomed in more than 300 millimeters would traditionally be. But when I put this on my full frame camera, it's I'm still zooming in a good amount, but it's not as it would be on a crop sensor. So that's the reason why it looks different. That's the basic reason why it looks different. If you want to know all the technical specs, I'm not the guy for that. I don't really care about numbers and specs and all that kind of crap. So there is a channel out there, Tony Northrup on YouTube. I'm pretty sure he has a video like this somewhere. But he's like a real techie guy. He does a lot of numbers and in-depth looking into pixel peeping and all that kind of stuff. So I would definitely check him out, Tony Northrup on YouTube. Him and his wife Chelsea do a lot of videos like that. So if you're into numbers and stuff, have a go at that channel. So thank you, Jack, for your question. And the next one is, why do you never talk about new gear on your podcast? From Ronnie S. in Hickson, Tennessee. I don't talk about new gear just because it doesn't interest me. I have gear. The only new gear that I would really, really like to have are like drones and stuff like that, or GoPro stuff. But I have some of that. So what I have is not the greatest, and it's not gonna be the greatest because I'm not gonna upgrade all the time. So I just don't talk about gear because I don't believe in spending money on, upgrading everything all the time. The caveat to that are iPhones. I have a thing about iPhones. I don't know what it is, but I will upgrade. I will upgrade that. But as far as photography gear goes, I will probably not buy a new camera for probably another 4 or 5 years, if that, unless mine breaks. Because what I have works. Photography is not advancing that much, so getting a new camera that has 5 more megapixels and a little bit higher ISO sensitivity and all that kind of stuff, it's not going to matter to me. So what I have works, and if it doesn't work exactly for what I need it to, I'm going to do my best to make it work. So I'd rather spend my time making it work than spending my money getting something that would make it work. I don't know if that justifies anything, but that's kind of how I feel about it. If you guys, but again, fill out the survey. Let me know. Let me know if you want me to talk about gear. I'll definitely do it if it's something that a whole lot of people are interested in. It won't interest me, but I'll definitely cover some cool things that are coming out. So, but thank you, Ronnie, for your question. Let's get on to the next one. I think this is the longer one. I currently work at a software company as a receptionist and would like to start a wedding photography business. I am new to photography. Wow. But feel that my area is a good potential for a wedding photographer. How would you recommend I get started? I would like this to replace my full-time job. Thanks, from Becky H. in Arizona. Becky, this is a very loaded question. It's going to have a lot of stuff with it, but I'm going to try to break it down as much as possible. So you're new to photography. You really don't need to be talking about starting a photography business. Definitely not need to do that right now. If you're really new to photography, you need to learn photography. You need to get out, take some photos, not for people, not for money. You just need to take some photos. Learn what gear that you might need for a wedding photography or wedding photographer shoot. You might need two cameras, one for to carry around with a wider lens, one with more telephoto lens. Definitely wouldn't get that starting out. Wouldn't buy two cameras. Learn one camera and then think about getting another one. And then just learn all the basics of photography. That's the main thing. And once you get that down, contact a wedding photographer in your area. Try to be a second shooter. That's a really popular way of doing that. Take photos of friends, not for their wedding or anything like that, but just take photos of, portrait sessions of them, and that sort of thing. And once you kind of get that built up, that could take a pretty good amount of time. But once you get that built up, then you can start kind of advertising yourself. You have your portfolio, but you can start advertising yourself and only take the jobs if you're comfortable and you know that you'll be able to produce the quality work that you and the client want. So definitely kind of bring it back a little bit. So don't even think about starting your own business right away, and definitely don't think about replacing your full-time job. I would love for me doing this podcast and make photography videos and teaching people photography to replace my full-time job, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen anytime soon. And I'm cool with that. I mean, yeah, I would like it to. I'm going to work towards that. But I'm still concentrating on what's actually bringing in money and what I'm doing good at versus my hobby, because this is technically a hobby. As much as I want it to be a business, it's technically a hobby. So yeah, just kind of think about that and just, don't get too ahead of yourself with that. Just kind of slow it down a little bit. Definitely don't spend thousands of dollars on gear, because you don't need thousands of dollars of gear. So just kind of bring it back a little bit, think about it, and just learn photography. That's the basic part. Then, if you need some help, just email me again, and I'll definitely try to help you out as much as possible for that. So, thank you, Becky, for your question. Let's see, we're in the home stretch here, guys. I'm wanting to start a photography blog, and let's see. Oh, read that wrong. Yeah, I am wanting to start a photography blog that has to do with my travels around Asia. I just wanted to see if that was a good idea. Do you think it would take away from my photography? Would anyone say, actually, okay, that gobbled up the words here. Would anyone actually read it? And that one's from AJ Photography 88. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure people will read it. The thing with starting a photography blog is you kind of got to think about, you think what's happening is when you type a blog out there, and you think people are going to read it right away, and you're going to get a whole bunch of traffic. But what you're basically doing when you start a photography blog is you're writing for yourself. You're writing for yourself and any one of your family that might look at it. So that doesn't mean you need to slack on it. It just means that you need to be mindful that, if you only have 5 people come to your website in a month, and that that's not family or whatever, like your mom's on the computer every night checking your blog. So you got to make sure that that you're writing for yourself. But keep in mind that as your photography blog stays up there, as SEO keeps getting better and better for your blog, you're using different keywords and meta tags and all this kind of stuff. You're going to start getting more and more traffic, and it's going to start ramping up a little bit. I really, really hope one of the listeners of the podcast doesn't mind me doing this. But one of the listeners of the podcast, his name is Michael Wilson. We talk a lot, it seems. And so he actually released his own photography blog, and it's, you want to do it about traveling around Asia, which I think is fantastic. I would love to see that. And he does it on just being a dad and photographing his family and going through his journey through learning photography and advancing and stuff like that. And it's a really great blog. I really like it. And so I actually have it bookmarked in my favorites to make sure I check it out every once in a while. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a plug. So if you want to go to www.dadphotographer.com, you can check it out there. He gives props to me when maybe he likes one of my videos or something like that. So I'm just giving props back to him. So great job, Michael, on your blog. I really do enjoy it. So for those of you who are interested in seeing kind of like the beginnings of a blog and getting it started, definitely check that out, dadphotographer.com. But again, AJ, back to your question. Definitely start a blog. If you're going to be in Asia for a while, which I don't know why you're there, maybe a job or something like that, but it's really awesome. Definitely start that out. I would love to read it, and please send me a link to that, and I would be happy to promote that because I think it's kind of a cool thing, and it maybe get more eyes on it and maybe get you pumped up. As far as it taking away from your photography, I actually think it will enhance it. That's kind of what it does. You'll look at your photos differently because you know that it has the potential of many people seeing it. So, and you'll want to advance it and keep it going and have that same style, that same quality of your photos. So I would certainly recommend that. So, please start that blog and let me know the link. So, thank you, AJ, for your question. The last one is from Alex Ferris from Burlington, North Carolina, right around the corner, sort of, little farther away. But Alex says, what are your favorite videos about photography to watch on YouTube? I have a few, but I'm always looking for more. Let's see. I don't really have I have a whole bunch of channels that I like. I actually did a video of that, which I'll put in the show notes of my top 5 photography podcasts and my top 5 YouTube channels. But some of my favorite videos lately have been kind of like the vlog-ish videos where, it shows them getting up and getting everything ready and getting, packing their bags, making sure their research is done, their all their stuff is ready to go, on location, hitting the spots for the good photos and just kind of documenting the day. That's kind of, I guess I could have shortened it up by just saying documentary videos. But yeah, it's that's kind of my favorite to watch. It used to be that I used to watch editing videos, which I still watch editing videos, but I'm starting to kind of hunt for more of those vlogish type videos. And Thomas Heaton, I'll put a link to one of my favorite videos of his. Thomas Heaton is a guy. Oh gosh, where is he from? Ireland. He's not from Ireland. Someplace overseas. I'm gonna feel like an idiot when I actually look up where he's from, but he does a lot of videos like that, and he kind of documents his day, and it's really cool. Sometimes he'll just be like, I'm gonna hop in the car and go find a photo. So it's really awesome to see that. And really great editing as far as this video goes. They're really captivating, keep you entertained and stuff like that. So definitely check those out. I'm going to put a link to one of my favorites in there, and then you can see his channel and check on some cool videos of his. So that is all the questions for this week. I have probably 35 more. So hopefully next week I can hit some more of those. But let's go into get into the widget of the week. And if you are a subscriber to the YouTube channel at PictureMonk.com/YouTube, if you're a subscriber there, you have already seen this, but I've got to put this out there for you guys. It is a free photo mock-up template. So what it is a Photoshop file of this is kind of how I display my photos. I feel like I'm Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands. If you're watching the YouTube video, I got my hands always up. It's a free Photoshop file where you can kind of take a photo of yours and just double click on a smart object in the photo, put your photo in there, and it'll automatically be placed on the wall in a frame, and you can see how your photo could possibly look in a room setting. So I have a couple, but this is one of my favorite ones. So I just I put that out for you guys. I have it mocked up, ready to go. And the video I made that was released yesterday, so on Monday, Monday the 9th. Yeah, Monday, May the 9th, I made a video showing you how to use it. So if you're not sure how to work Photoshop files like that, you can definitely follow that video and it'll show you how to use it. So if you're looking for something similar to that, or if you already have a bunch and you just want another one, go to picturemonk.com/PMP056 and I'll include a link to that article so you can see the video and get the download as well. So that's it. That's it for this photo podcast something. I actually rambled way less than I thought I was going to, so that's cool. So definitely check out the all the cool McDonald's news. I feel weird saying that, but please do the survey. It would really help me out, and if you're one of those people that just are a casual listener, and you don't come back week to week and you don't really care, still do it. It'd help me out. Maybe I can convince you to be more of a productive listener, or somebody that comes in and regularly listens. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you for subscribing on the YouTube channel. Thank you for rating the podcast on iTunes. And all that good fun stuff. So this is Jordan from PictureMonk.com, and I will catch you in the next video.